Hi, Assalamualaikum, and very good evening to our fellow audience. Welcome to our forum session today, where we discuss a light and easy topic, yet an impactful one. The topic is going to be: Is old school parenting relevant? Right, first and foremost, I would love to introduce our respectful panels that are willing to be here in our discussion today. On my left side, we have panel number one, Dr. Muhammad Muzamil bin Syam Samsudin Sani, a well-known psychologist that came all the way from Penang. He's one of the people that does a bunch of research on lifestyle and daily basis and so on. All right, welcome here, Doctor.
Thank you.
All right. On my right side, we have panel number three, Mr. Khalid bin Zainuddin. He is a child who was well trained by the modern way of parenting his whole life. And panel number four, Mr. Ahmad Amir Ashraf, a parent with two kids that practices modern way of new school parenting in his household. Last but not least, I'm Zulfikar Zikry bin Ismail, your moderator, aka your panel number two. I'm also a father with two kids parenting with an old school method. All right, and here we are discussing today's topic. This forum will not be held for long, and at the end of this session, we'll make a quick Q&A session for you guys to have, if you have any inquiries. So feel free to ask any of our panel. All right, so about our topic, what is parenting? Parenting is the lifelong journey of raising and nurturing a child. Parents are responsible for meeting their child's basic needs, their place to sleep, food, and protection, everything, and a way of teaching life skills and setting boundaries. Parenting is a continuous process of learning. All right, what I mean by continuous is every kids will be parents one day. A boy will be a father, and a girl will be a mom. And yeah, easier word is it's not only restricted to one specific aspect, such behavior and culture. Parenting is very widely open towards definitions such as social behavior, obedience, and of course, academic. All right, we are going to, since you guys already get the idea of what parenting is, I would like to call upon our first panel, Dr. Muzamil, to elaborate more on his point, whether he agree or disagree of our topic today.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. For today, I will explain my agreement on our discussion today. I believe modern society still has a place for old school parenting. This parenting offers a strong foundation of respect, discipline, and structure, whereas modern parenting places an emphasis on independence and critical thinking. For children to deal with social settings, lesson control, and to understand boundaries, these principles are crucial. For personal and social achievement, all school parenting creates a feeling of duty and responsibility. Hence, it will lead to children's academic achievement. Studies have looked deeper at parental practices and involvement and how these things affect academic achievement. For example, nowadays technologies are everything. But imagine this, by not giving children access to technologies such as smartphones, it can potentially majorly contribute to that achievement in several ways. One of them are reduced distraction. Smartphones can be highly distracting for children, often leading to a significant amount of time spent on entertainment, social media, and gaming. By limiting or not providing access to smartphones, children are more likely to have a fewer distractions and can focus their time and energy on activities that promote learning, skill development, and pursue their passion. Also, it will enhance focus and concentration. Without the constant notification and interruptions that smartphones can bring, children can develop better focus and concentration abilities. This can be beneficial for academic pursuit, creative projects, and other endeavors that require sustained attention. To conclude, nowadays it is important to note that the impact of smartphone usage on achievement may vary for each child, and a balanced approach is necessary. The key is to find a healthy balance that aligns with each child's unique needs, interests, and goals. I think that's all from me for my agreement on all practice still relevant for this evening. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Doctor. So Dr. Muzamil does agree on our topic today, and I would love to add some points from my perspective as panel number two. A conventional parenting style is what referred to old school parenting in academic terms. This type of parenting often places a strong emphasis on discipline, obedience, and respect to the law and the authorities. It could place a high value on academic accomplishment and hold them to a standard or set of objectives. To me, it gives more real-world experience in learning. As I said, a child's education may favor order and discipline in old school parenting. It may involve establishing precise academic standards, such as restrictive study schedules. So, additionally, rote learning, memorization, and the teacher-student relationship may be emphasized by this parenting approach. This is where I can actually conclude that old school parenting, where I practice most of the time towards my kids, is very and will always be relevant. Right? since I'm done with my points, I'm calling upon our panel number 3, Mr. Khalid, to actually elaborate your points.
Alright, thank you, Mr. Moderator. For panel number 1, sorry, I have to disagree with your opinion because since I'm not distracted with my study when using my smartphone or smart devices, it is advisable to establish clear boundaries and create efficient techniques to reduce distraction. This could include blocking of specific study times and employee time management technique that include quick breaks in between concentrated study sessions. Throughout my study session, my parents use tools and applications that restrict or ban access to websites or any apps that are distracting me. Slowly but surely, I'm developing my self-control and willpower to withstand the temptation to check over my phone or my tablet or any other my devices such as laptop. Ultimately, the secret to maximizing study time and academics performance is striking a balance between using the technology for constructive objective and reducing distraction. Not only that, constant notification and interruption that smartphone brings can be muted using the smartphone feature. As example, luckily I'm using an Apple device that does have DND, which means do not disturb mode, so which I can keep away myself from constant notification.
Alright, thank you, Mr. Khalid. So you're saying that smart devices is not distracting you, right? Okay. So panel number 4, Mr. Ami, as a parent yourself, what would you like to say about it?
Okay, thank you, moderator. I'm Amir, panel number 4. Since I'm a parent myself, I would like to disagree with the statement all parenting is still relevant. It is because I myself have 2 lovely children right now and I raise them with modern style parenting. And they actually turns out to be good. From an educational perspective, I think I taught them well. It is not much different from old school parenting actually because I still send them to school early in the morning and they come back home in the evening. I think their studies at school are much more advanced than we are back then because as we all know, KPM, which means Kementerian Pelajaran Malaysia, has upgraded the syllabus for students nowadays. So what they learn at school is much more than we are and it will make them more knowledgeable at an early age compared to us. But if we talk about what they have learned at home, I think it's a little different from old school parenting. Why? Personally, for me, I always give them time, and after they have come home from a tiring day at school, I let them rest first, go eat their meals, and let them have some leisure time. And I will ask them nicely if they have any homework to do, instead of forcing them to do their homework. And with that way, I think they will not feel pressure to finish their homework. I will also be with them when it's time for them to do the homework. But if I am busy with my work, I will ask my PT wife to guide them instead. I will not let my children feel lost and stressed while doing their homework. Next, I will talk about additional classes or tuition classes. Old school parenting usually don't send their children to go to additional classes because they think what their children have learned at school is enough. Instead of sending them to tuition class, I will let them join online tuition class at home because it is easier for them to learn in a comfortable environment. That way, children will not feel burdened to attend additional classes.
Alright, thank you very much, our panel number 4, Mr. Ami. So you have your own points, you are standing on your own points as well, Doctor is standing in his own points. So putting it all together, I can conclude that each of you guys still stand hard on each other's perspective. I respect that a lot. And on Amir's point, it does make sense on the upgraded syllabus. I will make a recap on that for sure. Alright, next we are moving on to panel number 1 again, Dr. Muzamil. Do you still think old school parenting is still relevant after what has been pointed out by other 2 panels? What would you say about it?
I think I love the idea of the panel 4 say that even though the point of additional class that panel 4 just stated can be true, I personally myself think that the children what have learned at school is enough. However, I still think that all school parenting is still relevant. In supporting my points, all school parenting can also lead to good social behavior. Social behavior refers to the ways in which children who are raised in all school parenting style interact and behave in social settings. I believe that all school parenting often emphasize conformity to social norms and value. For example, parents should teach children to behave in socially acceptable ways, which can include manners, politeness, and conforming to established social expectation. I personally taught my children to emphasize on greeting and showing respect to others. In many all-school parenting approaches, children should be taught to greet others with polite greetings such as saying hello or good morning, and addressing them with appropriate titles like aunt, uncle, or grandparent, without reprimand, just like that, and walk away with looking to the phone back. In addition, all school parenting can have a low risk of promiscuity. In my way of teaching, open and honest communication between parents and children is crucial. Being willing to have appropriate conversation about consent, healthy boundaries, and the operational consequences of sexual activity is a must for personal value. To conclude my point, this illustrate how all school parenting should and needs to emphasize social behavior that promote respect, manners, and consideration for others. It will aim to instill a social skill and values that contribute to positive interaction and relationships for the children within our society nowadays. So,
Alright, thank you, Doctor. So, panel number 3, do you have anything to say about it?
Alright, thank you, Mr. Moderator. Dr. Muzamil, I understand your perspective, your point of view, in your point that you had given. But it seems that you're highlighting the importance of traditional parenting is teaching social behavior, respect, and value to the children. You emphasize the significance of manners, politeness, and conformity to social expectation, as well as teaching children to greet and show respect to the elders. But somehow, in my own opinion, I think that all the thing that you see that the children does not have ethic or manners when they're with their family or friends, it is because you are seeing in the media. So there's some point of where there's a the small circle of that kind of kids that doesn't have manners, that their parent doesn't teach them in good way. So additionally, you mentioned that the importance of open and honest communication between parents and children, especially when discussing topic related to the relationship and personal value. You argue that traditional parenting can help instill social skill and promote prospective interaction and relationship in today's society. However, it is important to note that parenting styles and approaches can vary based on cultural, society and individual preference. I myself, even when I born in this world where the technology is evolving rapidly, but I still have manners when I'm with someone older than me. Different parenting styles can have both positive and negative effect on children, and what works for one family may not work for others. It is crucial to consider balanced approach that takes into account individual circumstances, values, and unique needs for the child.
Alright, panel number 3, thank you for your points, but I have something to say about it. When it comes to developing positive social behavior, old school parenting often places an emphasis on discipline, respect, and conformity to accepted social standards. The way I teach my kids at home, it is just easier to let them learn the old school way. A term we use around me, with my family, my friends, it's the difficult way. A way of not pampering them too much, yet at the same time not going too harsh on them. But it still depends. In modern times, effective parenting for social behavior frequently entails encouraging tolerance, cultural sensitivity, and acceptance of different viewpoints. So yeah, if modern parenting does offer and provide goods in such way, then it is not a bad way of parenting. Yet, it does not make old school parenting irrelevant. Alright? So that's just my point of view. And for that, panel number 4, do you have anything to say about it?
Yes, I have actually. I think I don't agree with panel number two's point. Yes, we have to teach our kids discipline, respect, and conformity to accepted social standards, but we have to remember that by using that way, our kids may become rebellious. Rebellious phase is dangerous for us parents because we will never expect what our kid will do. We have to be aware that children always want to do what they have never tried before. By teaching them behavior, discipline, and respect, I think it is better to try to be friends with them but not too friendly. Try to understand them try to understand them instead of asking them to do this and to do that. They will become stressed and not do what we ask them to do to show their rebellious side. Modern style parenting is much more suitable for kids nowadays because we can understand our children more. By understand our children, they tend to be more close to us, resulting in stronger bonds between children and parents.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ami, our panel number 4. That is actually a very good and fair point. All right. Doctor, do you have
Yes.
anything else to add in our discussion?
If I may, I want to add my last point, which is all school parenting approaches can contribute to the development of strong obedience in children. The emphasis on clear boundaries, discipline, and respect for authority figures in this parenting can shape children's behavior to prioritize compliance and obedience. This may have come up as a question. In order to achieve great achievement for children, should we, parents, set clear rules and boundaries to the children? The answer is yes. Establishing clear rules and boundaries for children is generally considered as important aspect of effective parenting. Setting clear expectations and providing structure can contribute to children's academic achievement and overall well-being. For example, set a clear boundaries and discipline. Typically emphasize clear boundaries and rules which can provide children with a sense of structure and security. This can contribute to the development of self-control and understanding of acceptable behavior in social settings. Other than that, all school parenting also often instill respect for authority figures such as parents, teachers, and elders. This can help children navigate social hierarchies and develop a sense of respect of others. If we are talking about discipline and consequences, all school parenting typically employ discipline strategy to enforce obedience. This, however, may involve the use of punishment or negative consequences when children fail to obey rules or disobey instructions. To conclude, it's important to know that obedience can be a desired trait, an excessive focus on school and all school parenting that may limit a child's autonomy, critical thinking, and ability to make independent decisions. I believe that we need to try to balance obedience with independence as it's crucial for healthy child development. I think that's all another point from me.
Thank you, Doctor. Fair point on the distractions that lead to lack of obedience. Panel number 3, anything written?
Alright, so I think Doctor made a good point there. But while setting up clear rules and boundaries is typically good for children, there's a time when it may actually encourage stubborn behavior. Children may experience irritation or rebellious behavior if regulations are too strict or unforgiving. Furthermore, youngsters may doubt the purpose of the rule and reject following them if they are applied inconsistently or without sufficient explanation. Setting age-appropriate limits, providing explanation, and allowing for some flexibility when necessary are all critical ways that parents can achieve a balance. Parents can lessen the development of stubborn behavior while still maintaining a controlled and supportive atmosphere by including children in discussion about the rules, taking into account their viewpoints, and offering opportunities for autonomy within bounds. Even though my parents have adopted new parenting technique, I have managed to have good grades in academic, having good common sense, and having a good circle of friends. My parents have created a supportive environment where they encourage and guide me, allowing me to develop a strong work ethic and sense of responsibility. Even though we know that new parenting style isn't that as hard as the old parenting style. Through their active engagement and involvement in my education, they also help me navigate challenge and motivate me to excel in my study. Despite the evolving parent style, their support and commitment have played a vital role in my attitude development.
Sorry to interrupt, but yes, Panel 3 made a very solid point on the existence of rebellious behavior around our children. I agree with the statement that settling clear rules and boundaries for children is generally beneficial, as it provides structure and guidance. However, there are instances when such strict regulation can accidentally cultivate stubborn behavior. Children may become frustrated or rebellious if the rules are too rigid or unforgiving, leading to resistance. Moreover, if rules are inconsistently applied or lack sufficient explanation, youngers may question their purpose and be less inclined to stick to them. To strike a balance, it is crucial for them. It is crucial for parents to establish age-appropriate limits, offer explanation for rules, and allow some flexibility when necessary. By involving children in discussions about rules, considering their perspective, and providing for autonomy within boundaries, parents can lessen the development of stubborn behavior and while still maintaining a controlled and supportive atmosphere.
Alright, thank you, panel number 3 and 4 for the beautiful elaboration. That was definitely an eye-opener for us all. As a parent myself too, I do agree on that. It was just something I noticed but unlikely giving less attention. And I also believe that somehow modern parenting or new school parenting give the majority of positivity except for some lacking here and there. But it wins more compared to old school parenting. I'm also guessing that Dr. Muzamil agreed on this point. Right, Doctor? Anything you want to add?
Not really, but there was really fair on rebellious behavior among kids. I'm agreeing to that, but I have to say that new school parenting only works with guidance from the old school because it creates an easy path for the newer method to function smoothly. But yeah, I will leave it at that, and I'm putting it in this manner. Old school run, so new school can walk. That's all for me.
Thank you very much, Doctor. That was an amazing one. Old school run, so new school can walk. Explanation here is basically the new way is so much easier compared to the old days, and from the guidance from old school, the newer method can be practiced smoothly. Seems like everyone in the room agreed that old school parenting is already less relevant in this modern era, and new school parenting only works well with the guidance of old school. Means that anyone can proceed with the modern method, but we have to put extra attention to how we do it to prevent unwanted scenarios. Everybody agrees?
Yes.
Yes, we agree.
Alright, great. In that case, we will leave it at that. Thank you everyone for attending panel number 1, 3 and 4. It was a great discussion session and I hope that it will benefit us all now and in the future. I would have to apologize in advance if I actually say anything harsh to you guys. Alright? And thank you for joining. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.